There's been one election in America where the man who won the most votes in the Electoral College did not become president. That really happened, and it contributed to one of the deadliest duels in history. I'm ranking the 15 most fascinating duels ever. This is day 6. Let's get into it. The 1824 election was one of the most contentious in this country's history. There were 4 candidates, and none of them achieved a majority of the vote. For the second and last time in American history, the House of Representatives chose who became the next president. And they chose John Quincy Adams, who had received just 32.7% of the vote, over Andrew Jackson, who had achieved 40.5%. You can imagine the bad taste that was left in the mouth of many Americans after that outcome, and that was certainly true of a central Louisiana community which didn't need any more excuses to fight. There were 2 rival factions in the region around Alexandria, the Old Money and the New Money. The Old Money family of Samuel Wells supported John Quincy Adams, but they butted heads with the Andrew Jackson supporters associated with Dr. Samuel Maddox. Aside from politics, these clans were engaged in multiple ongoing disputes involving competing businesses, voter fraud, and denied bank loans. The exact spark that lit the fuse of this duel is not known, but eventually Maddox and Wells agreed to meet on a sandbar between Louisiana and Mississippi to hash out their differences with pistols. But they didn't just show up alone, they brought a cadre of their friends and relatives. A total of 17 people showed up to that sandbar, including Jim Bowie, who would become famous for what's about to happen. Prior to this duel, Bowie had beefed with a guy named Major Norris Wright, who had run for sheriff of Rapidas Parish. During the election, Bowie had supported Wright's opponent, and in turn, Wright, who was a bank director, denied Bowie for a loan. It all came to a head one afternoon when Wright had fired at Bowie, and Bowie had resolved after that moment to always carry his hunting knife. Both men were spectators of the duel on opposite sides, and they were one of the main reasons that the fight got out of control. That's because after Wells and Maddox fired at each other twice, missing both times, the duel seemed like it would fizzle out. But right when it appeared to be over, Bowie and others jumped into the fray, either to take revenge on the wrongs that they perceived had been done against them. Multiple spectators all had disputes with each other, and the fight soon turned into an all-out brawl. At one point, Bowie got shot, but he continued to advance on Wright, who stabbed him with a spear. Undeterred, Bowie took the opportunity to pull Wright closer to him before saying, "Now, Major, you die," and stabbing him with his knife. Wright would die, along with at least one other. Bowie was seriously wounded during this fight, but he would survive, and the legend of what he did would grow until he became an American hero. He would later die at the Alamo, significantly increasing his stature. That's all for now. Follow along for the next duel on the list.